Thank you. And you did a great job. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad everybody here. Like I said, I've been farming since 1956. I was only 4 years old at the time, but actually I started selling vegetables when I was about 8. I was old. They sent me down to the store, and I sold vegetables down there at the roadside stand. So I've been doing this quite a while on it. Anyway, I would like to start out and send some of the vegetables. I'm not familiar with these meat guys down here. I had to sit with them all the evening. I learned a lot. But I'm mostly in the produce business, so I probably going to be talking about vegetables and stuff like that. I just went through the catalog and just kind of picked out vegetables that we need to grow more of, or somebody needs to. And so it's like artichokes. Now artichokes, there's very little on the market right now. I mean, my niece grew some artichokes and I sold them in my store for a little while, but demand was just, she couldn't keep up. So somebody needs to grow a ton of artichokes. And asparagus, takes a little bit of time to grow asparagus. It can grow up here. I've had very little asparagus in the store. Something like beans. Now beans are a crop that we never get enough of, and it's always kind of tricky because it's a little hard to grow. You probably have to grow them in mulch and plastic. If you have a little trouble with that, you can talk to me about it, and I'll show you a little bit of tricks I learned about beans. I don't grow beans myself right now. I had to use other space for other vegetables. Now beets, there's a lot of beets on the market right now, so but there's always room for more. I'd like to talk about broccoli. Broccoli is something I really need at my store. I can never get enough broccoli. I'm always out, seem like. And then during fair time, I use it for my veggie packs, and sometimes I have trouble getting it. So we need a good broccoli grower. It's easy to grow. You're going to have some moose problems. They love it too. And also, same with Brussels sprouts. It's a later crop. The moose love them too. And Brussels sprouts grow really well up here. It's a late crop. But you could make pretty good money with Brussels sprouts. And cabbage. I gotta say that they import a lot of cabbage to Alaska, and we need to do that. There's only really one cabbage grower in this state. I mean, Vanderwills, they do the cabbage, but I can't even buy cabbage from them because they're selling it to Cars and Safeway. They don't have enough to sell anywhere else. So it's really difficult right now to get cabbage. There's different kinds of cabbage. There's early, late, and medium storage cabbage. There's Savoia cabbage. Now Savoia cabbage, I wouldn't grow too much of it. It's not a good mover. It doesn't move that fast. Chinese cabbage does move pretty good, especially we have a lot of Asians up here, and they just love it. Carrots, there's really no problem with carrots now. We have a good supply of carrots in this state right now. So, and Vanderbilt's grow a big pile of carrots too. And cauliflower, this is another one just like cabbage and Brussels sprouts. We need more of that. Cauliflower, that's 4 different colors. Now, if you're going to grow white cauliflower, you got to make sure the sun keep it out of the sun. And the quality of cauliflower is good. If you get it yellow, white cauliflower, it doesn't sell that good. Also, if you let it grow too much, it starts to come out. You got to have it firm heads, and they got to look. The quality I have to say, I don't buy everything there is because sometimes people come up with and they don't have the quality that I need to sell it. I have to resell this stuff, and people are kind of picky about what they buy. You know, celery. Now we used to have a good celery grower here. Actually, he was state senator for years, Catulus. That was back in the '60s. I'm talking about, in the '50s. Back when I was a little kid, we had lots of celery. He grew really good celery. We don't have a good source of good celery in this state. I mean, I buy everything like that Carol Kinley buys. I think that was like 20 bunches last year. Collards. Collards is, there's a good market for collards. One person could grow all the collards and could probably make really good money if he gets a market started. Fact is, I had collards this year growing, but the moose ate it. So I could talk about corn, but that's not something we can grow here. It's not commercially viable. Now cucumbers I have a little problem with because I have pickling cucumbers. I have a big list of pickling cucumbers. In the last 3 years, I have not filled the list up. So there's lots of room for somebody who wants to grow pickling cucumbers. Just call me, and I got customers for them, believe me. And we sell a lot more pickling cucumbers. In fact, I have a lot of jars of pickling cucumbers for my customers. They keep bringing them back to me. Now, eggplant, something my mother used to grow back in the '60s, and we could use an eggplant grower. I know too many people don't do eggplants. It's not really a popular thing, but beets wasn't popular either. Now it's just super popular. And garlic. We need garlic in this place, you know. Somebody can grow good garlic, all this stuff. I don't have enough time or energy to grow everything, so I could, if you grow it, I probably could sell it for you. The kohlrabi, I do grow kohlrabi, and I do pretty good in that, except for this last year I didn't, the moose got into it. We got to do something about that moose situation. They cost me a lot of money and a lot of things. I try to get the Fish and Game to have it like a farming season where I could call somebody and say, hey, come and get this moose out of here, and they go shoot it. I think it's a great idea. I had one biologist do it, and I never seen him again. He must have told the wrong person. Anyway, going down the list, I got kale. And kale's another one, just like collards. There's about the best kale is the curly kale and the tungsten kale. That's the best sellers. If you wanted to start out, I would start out with those because you're going to make more money on those. The other ones, they sell, but you might as well go with what really sells the best. Now lettuce, I'm not going to talk too much about lettuce. It's one of those crops where you have to, especially leaf lettuce, you have to pick it, and it only lasts for like 2 or 3 days on the shelf, so you got to move it pretty fast. You can keep it cool, and you can get a few more days out of it, or you could on it. But it does move pretty fast, and you got to have lettuce in your store. Of course, we have a full-time lettuce. Some of the guys are growing it all year, which is really good. And also, we've been putting lettuce in clamshells, which gives us shelf life a little bit longer. And so that makes a big difference on the lettuce. Depending how I just kind of instead of just growing the plants, we just kind of sell the leaves now, which makes it a lot easier. A lot more labor, but it's all right. And head lettuce, we need head lettuce grower. I can't get any hardy. Vanderbilts have probably the only big major head lettuce grower, and they're they can never get enough for me to the store. They always say, "Oh, we have too many. We can't grow enough because we're shorting cars or somebody, you know." So I get shorted. And parsnips, I have talked about parsnips. I could use lots of parsnips, guys. And peas. Now talk about peas. I got an idea for peas, but they sell really well and at a high price. You can grow peas. If you like picking peas, it'd be great, because that's going to be a lot of your time be picking them on it. What I did is I just charged so much, get some kids in there. I charged them, well, with this one kid, I said, okay, I'll pay $2 a pound. I didn't know he was a fast picker. Next thing I knew, I was paying him a couple $100 a day. He was a rich 14-year-old, I tell you that. But it's one way you do it. You can tell that. Now, peppers, that's kind of in the greenhouse thing. And the pumpkins. Am I out of time? I just want to say there's a lot of stuff. I'm not even done with my list yet. Oh, yes, I am. I got about one more page. That's all I got. It's a short one.
All right.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about radishes, because when I was a kid, I was the slowest radish buncher on the farm, so I never got a bunch of radishes. That's why I ended up at the store selling, because I couldn't bunch radishes fast enough. So they sent me out to the rhubarb patch and the onion patch, and I did that. But so right now, when I do radishes, because I'm a slow buncher, I bulk them. And I've been bulking radishes for the last 5 or 6 years. I sell them that way in my store. I sell bulk radishes. It's a lot easier. The shelf life is a lot better because you don't have the tops going bad on you. If you go into the farmer's market and you bunch a bunch of radishes for a couple days, yeah, that'd be great. But the next day you better bulk them up. It just makes it easier for everybody. Also, the worms are like radishes too, so you have a lot of problems with flies on it. And I've been using netting. I've been putting netting over my radishes, and I've been getting some really good quality radishes lately on it. It's been really working out well. It's a little bit more work. Another option is to use chemicals. You can just spray for radishes. Another farmer I won't mention does that. But and I want to talk about a little bit about summer squash and winter squash. I raise a lot of different kinds of summer squash. I do pretty good in that. They're easy to grow. They grow really well up here and big. The winter squash, you got the crooknecks, the acorn, the delicalia, the butternut, the spaghetti squash. All that grows really well. There's some varieties that won't do it though. If you want it, I could tell you which varieties work and which don't, because I've tried just about all of them. That's one of the things I do grow at my farm quite a bit. Swiss chard, tomatoes, and turnips, all I got left. So now turnips is the same with radishes. You gotta use netting and stuff. Tomatoes, you need to grow them in a greenhouse, probably best. They're very expensive to grow, very expensive to buy. But I can tell you what, they're a really good mover. They move pretty fast in the store. And the cherry tomatoes, they go out like hotcakes. I can't keep cherry tomatoes on the shelf hardly. So if you,
That's it.
all right.
Thank you, sir.